great house and great location. So I did submit an offer on this. I spoke with my buyers. We decided what we thought the house would go for. We have a very good sense of what number it would be. They liked the house. They didn't love the house. So they made a decision to make an offer that if they won it, they'd be happy, but they didn't bid to necessarily win. So we actually ended up as the 4th out of 14 bids, which as I suspected. So we sort of weren't expecting to win it, but it's also very great information because we were right on target with where we thought the house would land. And by them submitting the bid and seeing this, it just sort of confirms where they need to be for their next offer.
And did they break $1 million?
Oh, yes.
They broke.
We went considerably higher. We were number 4. We went a good amount over ask. But like I said, there were 3 offers higher than ours as we expected.
And we
based on our analysis. I do a lot of analysis of
Excel spreadsheets.
I do a lot of Excel spreadsheets. I look at sales prices, and I also talk to a lot of agents to find out what houses have sold for that haven't closed yet. So I reach out to under contract agents and try to see what did that house sell for, because that will give us a great sense of the market.
Trend line, data points, percentages.
And things that other people don't know. So having relationships with other agents is
critical.
Super important.
Mm-hmm. This is South Orange. This is a lovely, brick front home. I don't know where it's selling yet, but that's something in South Orange on Highland. Highland is near the park, and you walk up from the train station to get to it. It's a really nice location. So if somebody likes, I don't know if that's still available, probably isn't. It probably had multiple bids. This was something that needed work in Chatham. And again, multiple bids. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath Cape, $839, decent piece of property. They'll all have multiple bids, but this just kind of gives you the farther out you go along the train, usually it's not as expensive as you're coming in closer, like Melbourne Short Hills or Summit. They're really pricey. Chatham is too, don't get me wrong, but it's just 10 minutes further from the city. Go ahead. Madison, this is a little updated Park. This is Park Avenue, very busy street. Don't know where it's sold, but that's what's trending in Madison today. Go ahead. Springfield. Now Springfield's right next to us in Melbourne Short Hills. So you can't walk to the train from here, but there's a jitney to our train. But this area of Ron's Edge used to be a nursery, and that was developed probably 25 years ago, $999. It's a bigger house, 4 beds, 2 full, 2 half. Keep going. This is Westfield. This is a lovely, just typical colonial on Park Street. It's a 5-bedroom, 1-1. But again, these are all probably getting multiple bids. It's just to give you a flavor. Keep going of what the towns are like. Berkeley Heights, you'll get something a newer build for $1095. Busier streets, and that's what's happening in the builders. There's no land really to build on, so they'll take tear downs. They'll do them on busier streets, double yellows, that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for brand new, you might have more success. Keep going on something like that. New Providence, $1075. You might have more success going out a bit further or not directly on the train line. Berkeley Heights and New Providence are on the Gladstone branch, so it curves out a little bit. And they had been using buses. I don't know if they're back on the train line. They had some things that needed fixing on the trains. Keep going. This is West Orange, again, not on the train line. It's a bigger house. You get more house for your money in West Orange, but you have higher taxes, so you have to be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, for all the homes, I would say, right? You should always ask your agent about taxes.
And what the taxes cover. That's right.
Each town is very different from a tax perspective.
Correct. Some taxes include garbage pickup, some don't. Every town should be doing snow removal and leaf removal. Does a town have a par 3 golf course and a pool, or doesn't it? Every town has something. They all offer something different. Keep going. Montclair is another town that is on fire. They're going at least 25% over asking.
Big price appreciation.
Big price. Yeah. Livingston, was a new build probably about 15 years ago in the Livingston town center, $1,125,000, suite, 2-car garage, nice town. Yeah. And then we just want you to see, if you're a buyer out there, it's important that you see, leave it right there. We like to talk about what each year looks like at the end of the year. So you could see where we're sitting in Melbourne Short Hills. how the numbers, we normally have about 70, 75 homes at the end of the year. Like right now, today, we have 23, which is not a lot. We should have more homes on the market right now. And if I were to pull up the MLS, I'm sure I could pull up and see how many homes are starred, meaning that they're in attorney review. I just heard of one that had 25 offers. It was on for 2150. It had 25 offers. The sixth bridesmaid, as I called it, right? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. The sixth bridesmaid was over 2.4 and didn't get it. So they ranked number 6 at 2.4 and didn't get it. Lots of multiple bids going on. Same thing, you could see the lack of inventory, whether it's in Summit or Maplewood, Chatham Borough, Chatham Township. I mean, look at Chatham Township. In 2018, there were 48 homes on. Today, there's 12. Madison, there were 44 on. Today, there's 9. Livingston, we can't see.
Livingston's like 27.
27, which is unusual. Melbourne, Short Hills, 23. That's not a lot. There's just not, and there'll be price breaks where there's nothing. There'll be between $1 million and $1.5 million. We don't have any inventory, nothing to sell, nothing. I just put a house on the market today. I put a couple on the market today, one at 2150 and one at 3495. The one at 3495 had 4 showings during the open house. I had a broker open house today. So in 2 hours, I had 4 showings. And then the one that was at 2150, again, we had a broker open house on it. We had 3 showings during the broker open house and we had 4 showings after that. So that's the people want to buy a house. They want to buy a house and the realtors are saying, when are you taking offers? How are you listening to offers? That's what we're hearing. Keep going. So one of the questions, we had some people sending questions. Thank you very much. One of the questions was, how much are homes selling above list price in Melbourne and Short Hills? That's interesting. On average, what are we seeing?
I would, it really depends on how it's priced, and that's why you have your agent come in to tell you if it's priced well or not. But I would say we're seeing 15 to 20% over ask right now. And sometimes it's more, and again, it's an average. But yeah, that's what we're seeing. And in other towns, we're seeing 25%.
25, 20. You bid on a house. You told us you did a wonderful spreadsheet. You saw that they were selling 26% over asking. You had your buyer do that and they still didn't get it.
We were the backup.
Backup.
We were well above, and yeah. And I mean, I put in another offer this week. There were 31 offers.
31.
And I felt, we were in the top third. Probably, we did very well. I think our offer was really good. But some people just really want the house and they're throwing money at it. So, it's okay. It's important to win the house, but you want to win it the right way. And that's why, you really have to be smart with your bidding. We looked at how other houses were selling, how they were trending. We looked at comparables. We saw what we thought a house like this on a regular market would go for, and we upped our offer quite a bit. And there's still people fighting, but the problem is there's just one of those houses. So it doesn't become a spreadsheet. It's how much you want.
How much you want. And you don't know who you're bidding against ever, right? So you might be bidding against someone who's lost 5 homes and they're like, we're done. We're getting this next house. We don't care how much we have to pay for it. We're going to be in it for the next 20 years, regardless if we're buying at the height of the market or we're not buying at the height of the market or we're in the middle of it. We don't care. We need a place to call home. You might have one little 2-year-old and you're expecting another one and you just want to get roots. And so you're willing to do whatever it takes to buy the home. So you just don't know the level of angst with each buyer and who you are bidding against. So it's just something to keep in mind.
And it's not all doom and gloom. I don't want to.
No.
Like there are other houses. Those are like the top houses that are going. Obviously, they're going to get the most bids, but there are other homes out there that aren't going that much over ask. And there's also, if you're willing to do a little bit of work, you're definitely going to get a better value and a better buy. So you shouldn't be discouraged, and you just have to learn the market. And just if you consistently go through the process, you're going to know what's the right price to pay, what's the right home for you.
I'll sometimes say the pretty girl always gets asked to the dance first. And she does. The pretty girl is the pretty house, the one that's all done that you just have to move in. But the second pretty girl, as Tamara would say, that might be the best value. That might be the one you do want to go home with, because you can
last there longer.
It'll last longer. You can make your own changes. You get to live in the house for a year. Pretty girl always gets asked to the dance first. She does. How do you feel about removing the appraisal contingency? This is a really good question. Do you know what? In this market, everyone's doing it. Now, does that make it right? I don't know, but it's been my experience that if you want to be the winning bid, you remove your appraisal contingency. You just do in this market today. An attorney's going to tell you not to do it, by the way. But most agents looking at these transactions, you are going to have 3 that will probably do it. So unless there's something else that's really compelling, right, Matt? I mean, how do you feel about removing that appraisal contingency?
I think it's fine, provided you just have to have a conversation with your lender that, hey, should it underappraise by a certain dollar amount, will that impact my financing any which way? That's it. Because it doesn't come back. We're never going to waive the appraisal, right? The lender's always going to have the appraisal done. But what they're really asking you is, are you going to waive the ability to cancel the contract because the house doesn't appraise at the purchase price?
Mhm.
So all you have to do as a consumer is have a conversation with your lender and say, hey, what's my plan B and what's my plan C? Like, what's my contingency plan other than me going into my pocket to make up the difference? And that's all you have to ask, because that's what you're really looking for is your risk, right? What's this putting me at risk if I waive the appraisal? In my situation with the clients and the products that we have, oftentimes it just means, hey, you have to entertain PMI, private mortgage insurance. Assuming you don't make up the difference. And I'm glad you bring this up because PMI has come way down in years. Everyone always has a very negative impression of PMI, that it costs hundreds of dollars per month. On $1 million loan, you could have PMI of like $125 a month, right? Like with 5% down or 10% down. Here's something I'll also tell you about. PMI is not the same with all lenders. And you have to realize that. Like the company I work for, Guaranteed Rate, we're closing $12 billion a month in the height of the market, $12 billion. Those PMI, private mortgage insurance, those companies are soliciting us to send them our business. So in doing that, they bring their premiums way down, kind of like the Walmart theory. They're going to make it up in volume of transactions as opposed to charging a higher premium. So I can quote somebody PMI $125 a month, whereas the next company might be $250 a month. So don't glaze over that piece of it as much as when you're shopping on rate, focus on the PMI because the PMI is not going to be the same. And that goes back to what you're saying is, hey, where am I at with risk with waiving the appraisal? Okay, if it underappraises by 5% and you don't want to make up that 5% difference, well, your 20% down payment now becomes 15%. And we just charge $45 a month for the PMI policy. And a lot of people are good with paying $45 as opposed to coming out of pocket another $25,000 or $30,000 to make up an underappraisal.
Because they have a house. And then how do they lose the PMI?
Right. So as soon as you attain 22% equity, it drops off automatically, according to the amortization chart. So when you start paying down your mortgage, as soon as you get to 78%, it actually drops off. It has to. At 80% or 20%, you can ask the lender to, have it removed. And you can also prepay your mortgage. There's no prepayment penalty in New Jersey. So you want to throw extra money, maybe you're in between bonuses or anything like that. You just throw money 12 months from now, you put your tax refund on it, drop the PMI.
Awesome. Well, that's good too. Yeah, it's just about 8.
Any questions?
Do we have no questions? Does anybody have any questions for us? Is that one we answered?
I think you did. I think that's that word. Yeah.
Yes, we answered a question. I think this was pretty good. I hope you all, we're going to send out a link. Would you all just tell us what we could do better, what you liked, what you didn't like? If you have any other further information that you want us to know about. We loved having everybody. It was nice
And
to have-
we love to talk about this.
And Maggie G, come over here because they didn't get to see you, baby, and I want them to see it. Come sit next time. This is
That's
Megan
Megan.
Burchett. She came in and was helping us as well. She's working with, I'm sure some of her buyers are on this thing. So thank you for coming. It's top of the hour. We'll start where we ended it. Matt, thank you again. If they need to reach you, Matthew Kane, Google Matthew Kane. You need to reach any of us, you know how to reach us. I am Maggee Miggins with the Maggee Miggins Group and our team. And it has been our pleasure to chat with you this evening. And thank you so much for coming. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Peter's not